she goes wild as if that was, a grenade. The pin was just waiting for somebody to remove. My brother, that is always the first sign that will come out in any woman the moment they start pushing away from you. The first sign that will happen in any woman out there who's living, whether you are dating or you're married, is they start to disrespect you. And disrespect here is shown by a woman not accepting corrections. You see, today I want to discuss something about a man who's not in love, or a man who's not in that relationship, and a woman who is not in that relationship. Number one sign that will happen to all men and all women. This is not a sign that happens in specific men or specific women. This is a sign that happens to every couple. It does not matter is which nationality, which kind of people, what age. One sign that happens in every relationship that shows that that relationship is going to the dead. For the women, is when your woman is not ready for corrections. You see, my brother, it reaches a point when you try to correct your woman, they feel threatened. They feel bad about it. They don't welcome it. They are not comfortable to get your corrections. You can't tell her anything. Even just a simple one like, honey, I don't like this glass here. Can we just put it there? And she busts. She goes wild as if that was, a grenade. The pin was just waiting for somebody to remove. My brother, that is always the first sign that will come out in any woman the moment they start pushing away from you. The first sign that will happen in any woman out there who's living, whether you are dating or you're married, is they start to disrespect you. And disrespect here is shown by a woman not accepting corrections. Maybe sometimes, you're wondering, maybe your woman is not listening to you, and you are watching this video at the moment and you're like, is he talking about me? Is it what she's doing? I want to tell you this. Don't just feel like when a woman says no to what you're saying, then that means she doesn't like to be corrected. I want you to look at your relationship when it started. How was it? Was she this woman who was ready to be corrected and who was ready to stand her ground and say, no, honey, this has to be done like this. No, honey, I decided to do this because of that and that. This is very different. But you see, you have this woman who has been listening to your word, and your word has been her Google map. You understand? Then all of a sudden, she changes. You can't talk. You can't advise her. Like, you can't suggest for her. She's doing her things, and she can even remind you that, you know what? You have no business with this and that and that. You've got to ask yourself questions. So go back and think about that, because you know what? Women respect their husbands. And I have said it here, and I've repeated so many times. The moment a woman starts to question, you will see some of them maybe in the comment section here, saying that, how do I respect a man, dash, dash, dash? How do I respect a man if, dash, dash, dash? That means that that woman doesn't know who she is, and she doesn't know what she wants. I have said, and I will repeat, a woman is the one who chooses, not a man. Men are going to see a lot of women out there, and they will hit on them. But it is the women that will say that, yes, I want you to be part of my life. We can push you to the wall. I can come 100 times. But if you don't do your assignments well, if you don't do a due diligence to understand whether this man is right for you, then you'll end up telling Azir that, coach, but how can I do this to a man who dash, dash, dash? We never forced you with that man. You chose him. So before you choose that man, choose a father figure in your life. I always relate relationship between a woman and a man as a relationship between a father and a daughter. So choose a man you can listen to. You respect him automatically. And you will always appreciate their corrections. You'll appreciate even their demands because they resemble the one who was there before. That's your father. And for you, my sister, the number one sign that a man is done and is almost getting out of that relationship, maybe to start cheating, maybe to divorce, maybe to separate, maybe to, break up with you, is when the man starts not to care. You see, I want to explain it so that you don't rush to conclude that your relationship is not working. The moment a relationship starts, once a man has identified a woman who is, compatible to him, and the woman also identifies that, yes, this is the man that I've been wanting in my whole life, what happens is the man becomes like a father figure, just like I've said. He starts to command. He starts to direct. He starts to discipline. He starts to offer direction. He starts to offer support. He starts to tell you what you're not doing right and encourage you and appreciate you on what you're doing right. So if you find that right man, that is what will happen by the start of the relationship. When you realize that in the middle or somehow, somewhere in the relationship, this man starts not to care. Whatever you want, he says, okay, go ahead. You break things, he doesn't question. You go out and, friends are at home, you're doing that, you're doing this, you're going here, you didn't cook, and it's okay, let's order it. And, he understands that there was nothing that would have stopped you from cooking. The house is not neat, things are not arranged, and it's just like, all right, I'll do it for you. Look, you have missed a point here, most of you women. Love is not just like that man is coming every day and sitting down and, folding those clothes with you, going straight to the kitchen and cooking, and you are home the whole day with no kid, with no work. That is not love. Unfortunately, that's what most of our women these days think is love. That is a man who is done. There's nothing for him to correct anymore. You see, no father leaves his daughter to just sit and do nothing. They correct, they discipline, they instruct, they work alongside them, and they always want to see their daughters doing something better and bigger. The same way a man who is rightfully yours brings that, because you came from a man. That is why God created you from a man's rib, so that that man becomes a father figure. Even though you are in an equal partnership, that man still plays a role of a father figure. Not a father, but a father figure. Somebody who can guide, who can instruct, who can stop, who can command, and who can listen and offer that appreciation when things are done right. So the first sign that will tell you that your man is done or your woman is done is when respect lacks in the house. How is it seen? When a woman doesn't listen and when a man doesn't care. Keep smiling.